The main function of stretching is that stretching takes tissue, whether it's muscle, tendon, ligament, skin, other things, and it lengthens it out. Now, as we'll talk about in a little bit, there's a couple of different types of stretching, but the purpose of stretching is that it lengthens it out. And so when it lengthens it out, it makes it easier for that body part to do whatever the activity is that you're doing. Whether you're sitting at your desk and trying to hold good posture, or you're raking leaves in the yard, or you're going for a 25-mile run, the longer that a muscle is, the greater that it is able to perform its activities. So let's look at a couple of activities. If we look at somebody that's sitting at their desk, well, you are sitting there for even 30 minutes. If you're sitting for any period of time, the muscles in your neck, your upper back, even your lower back are having to work to hold your body weight. So as they're working, those muscles are gradually getting shorter. It doesn't happen right away, but they're gradually getting shorter. Studies show, and we know, that muscle that is shorter is less capable of working. It's less capable of moving more weight. It's less capable of doing something for a longer period of time, and it's less capable of doing something repetitively. So the longer, the more stretched out that a muscle is, the better able it is to do that activity. So when you're sitting during the day and posture or gravity is gradually pulling you forward, what's happening is you're getting an increase in pressure in through here. So stretching is going to help to bring you back into a good position, open that space back up and get pressure off of the nerves and allow for there to be less pressure on your head, less headaches, etc. If we look at a runner, somebody that wants to go out and run 5 miles, well, when you're running, you're taking a longer stride than when you're walking. So the longer the stride that you can take means you'll be able to run faster, you'll be able to get it done sooner, your time will be better, you'll get more out of the run, etc. So the longer the stride comes from the fact that the muscles down the back of your leg would need to be able to be longer and stretched out to get you to be able to take that longer stride without risk of injury or without the stress and strain that's going to happen the next day. So even if we look at just bending over to tie your shoes, well, when you bend over to tie your shoes, if you don't have the motion or the flexibility in the muscles in the back of your leg, whether you're sitting or standing, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the flexibility and the length in those muscles, well, then what's going to happen is you're going to have to get it from someplace else. And so oftentimes as a physical therapist, I hear somebody tell me, I was bending over to tie my shoes and I felt this pull in my back. Well, the reason for that was that you didn't have the motion, the flexibility in the muscles in the back of your leg. You had to get it from someplace else, and you overworked or overstretched a muscle in that area. If we look at just how a muscle helps you with fatigue and just activity in general, a stretching activity is going to help that muscle, again, to be longer. It's going to help it to be able to perform for a longer period of time. So again, whether you're sitting at your desk or you're going for that run or you're raking leaves in the yard, we know muscle is going to gradually get shorter as the day goes on, as activity goes on. Therefore, the longer you start it out, the better off it's going to be. So how does stretching work? Well, it really has 3 major functions. It has 3 things that it does. Number 1, it prepares your tissue, again, whatever that is, muscle, tendon, whatever it might be, it prepares it for an activity. It prepares it to be able to sit at your desk for an hour and work on that project. It prepares it to be able to go for that 26-mile run. It prepares it to be able to garden or whatever it might be. Like I said, it lengthens that muscle out. It makes it in that longer state. The second thing, and really where we start to use stretching as a treatment technique, is that it reduces the amount of pressure on things. So if we're talking about a trigger point, for example, I have this trigger point, I have this pain, or I get this pain in my shoulder. Well, what's happening is something's getting pinched on, and most likely it's getting pinched on by the muscle. So that trigger point is actually a nerve that's being pinched on by the muscle. The muscle is pinching on it because the muscle is tight, it's too short. That pinching, that pressure, yes, it causes the pain. It also reduces blood flow to the area. It increases the amount of carbon dioxide that's building up in a muscle, etc. And that's what causes that pain, that stiffness, that soreness, etc. And the last thing that stretching does in that third function is that it helps to facilitate recovery. So again, let's say we have an athlete that's gone off and played a basketball game or played a soccer game. All of their muscles in their leg and their arms, whatever, respective to their sport, are going to be a little bit tighter. It's going to, again, restrict blood flow. So that tightness allows for the buildup and the staying of carbon dioxide and other waste products from the activity that they just did. That's what causes what's called delayed onset muscle soreness tomorrow. That muscle is more sore because it didn't get good blood flow through it, pick up all of that carbon dioxide, deliver oxygen to the area, and help any traumas that occurred with the activity or whatever it might be to recover. So again, a great example, you're out in the yard gardening today. Today you feel okay. You're a little bit tired, fatigued, but tomorrow you wake up and you can barely move. That's that delayed onset muscle soreness. Over that 12 hours time, those muscles got shorter. The carbon dioxide was stuck there because the muscles didn't allow good blood flow, and now tomorrow you're much more sore than you are today. So again, it helps with recovery.